On this episode of Go Here Do This, we're covering all the things that I like to do in St. Ignace on a long weekend in the winter. This includes hiking, it includes fat biking, and there's just a ton of photography opportunities in this particular area. I had a hard time deciding if I wanted to go first curve or vanilla jitterbean for this particular video, but ultimately I decided on vanilla jitterbean because when I'm outside for a long time in the winter, I like the little bit of coffee notes to it to kind of boost my spirits. First up is hiking at the Strait State Park. Most likely you will need some snowshoes or at least yak tracks for grip because we're talking about winter. The Strait State Park is located right in St. Ignace along the Straits of Mackinac with stunning views of the bridge. And although it is technically closed for the season, that's referring to the campground, bathrooms, and other park utilities. I'm making this video to tell you that it is still open for day use and even has a few parking spots and special events. Strait State Park is not the biggest state park in Michigan, but it does have some of the coolest things that make it unique. These views are of the Mackinac Bridge from the park. Personally, I bring my camera with me every time I go, but any smartphone will work for some photos. The first viewing platform is towards the east of where you park in the upper campground. You will see a few signs like this one here. Just follow that and you will get this view. If you're lucky, a fresh snowfall will be sitting on the evergreen trees. It'll make the moment even more special. Here are a few photos that I got the last time I was on this platform in the winter.
There's another spot that we could get to see the bridge at sunset from like an angle. Let's go.
This is where snowshoes become more crucial. If it had just snowed, or if it's icy, most of the paths will be left natural. So you need some snowshoes. With the shoes on, it's a pretty easy path to get down to the water's edge for a second stunning view of the bridge. This is the footage from that spot last year, and ice conditions change daily, so my official statement is never trust the ice. We grew up in the UP and in this area, and we have experience with changing ice conditions, so we took the necessary precautions and I felt it was safe enough to skate near the shore. And I got my favorite footage I've ever had the privilege of capturing. If that's not enough hiking for you and you want something just a little bit more wild, then I'd recommend going to Narnia. It's about a 20-minute ride east of downtown St. Ignace. Narnia is not the real name of this place, but that's what everybody calls it. It took a little bit of research, but I figured it out. Narnia is actually the Bush Bay hiking trails, and then those tie into the John Arthur Woolham Preserve. And this trail system meanders along the Bush Bay with rocky outcrops with some stunning natural features.
Personally, my favorite kind of hiking is in the evergreen forests because I just think that they get to maintain their color a little bit and it just makes for a more peaceful kind of hike.
Both the Woolham Preserve and Bush Bay Trailhead will get you to the area with all these awesome boulders and some pretty cool photo opportunities. I'm not going to cover every single place there is to eat in downtown because that would take way too long and it would be boring. But there are a couple of tips that I've learned along the way that make my experience even better. Pasties travel really well and it's amazing to bring with you on the winter time. Another great option would be to go downtown and stop at the Village Inn and have some French onion soup. That always warms me up. A proper fat biking trail is relatively new to this area, but I think they're off to a great start. The Silver Mountain Biking Trail is 1.58 miles of winter fat biking and it's located just off of US 2. Now, I consider myself a beginner when it comes to fat biking, and I find that these trails offer some fun rhythm sections, a challenging uphill climb, and then of course a super fun downhill. If you're lucky, you might even see one of the bald eagles circling out over Silver Lake. This next thing isn't exactly a proper trail, but if the conditions are right, biking along the US 2 beaches is a ton of fun as well, We spent a couple hours just out there goofing around having a great time. In this video, I'm not even trying to cover every single thing there is to do in St. Ignace in the wintertime. That would be way too difficult for one video. Like, I haven't even began to cover snowmobiling. But for me, this is a very approachable way to get to the UP and spend some quality time outdoors. I do want to say thanks to Ludington Bay Brewing for keeping us stocked up on our provisions and making videos like this possible. And until next time, cheers.